Well, we have a big problem with the Ferrari 812, and you're probably wondering, how did this happen?
A night out in Hollywood ends in a crash when Creed actor Michael B. Jordan wrecks his $400,000 Ferrari on Sunset Boulevard.
That's right, Michael B. Jordan, one of the most famous actors in the world. He crashed his Ferrari, I bought it, and I'm gonna fix it.
I don't fix cars for a living. I don't even really know where to begin. I may have overextended myself slightly.
Now the goal today is pretty simple. I want to pull the interior, remove the front end, find out every single thing that is wrong with this car so we can get it fixed ASAP. I bought this car sight unseen on eBay Motors for $187,000, and I want to find out if that was a massive financial mistake.
So we have a cracked windshield, we have 7/8 of a bumper, a headlight with a fracture, we have a percentage of a mirror, one airbag, we have a second airbag, and we have a third airbag. And this should definitely connect to that. And the seat belts are no good. And this oil tank here, it headbutted a Kia, and the Kia lost. And of course, a brief and subtle moment of silence for the Kia.
When the Ferrari impacted the Kia, you can actually see the Kia lift up off the ground and then fall back down as the Ferrari wheel tumbles down the road.
At some point during this accident, the passenger window shattered and there's a bunch of broken glass inside the door. So the first thing I want to do, I just want to remove this panel just to clean that glass out. That was easy. I'm trying to remove that little light thing right now, and it is being the absolute biggest pain. Anything with that little Ferrari horse is 10 times the price. I really don't want to break it. This little light thingy right here, gone.
Now my goal for this project is to do everything. Every single, well, maybe not everything. I'm gonna do as much as I can do. And yes, I know my skills and abilities are very, very, very limited, but my labor rate is $0. And this project is gonna get out of control expensive. For example, a brand new Ferrari factory bumper for this car is almost $10,000. The left passenger fender is almost $6,000. So I'm gonna be spending so much money on parts for this car that if I can do any work myself, it is gonna save me a ton of money in the long run.
I don't even want to admit to you guys how long that just took. One seat is out, seatbelt's still connected, we're gonna disconnect that. We're cranking.
Now we're gonna disconnect the seatbelt from the seat. This plastic molding that houses the power seat controls, underneath it there is 4 Torx bits. Unscrew those, that'll give us just enough access to unclip the seatbelt, and we're free.
Well, the passenger seat is officially out, and our ultimate goal is to get that windshield out. Now, we removed the inner door panel. Like I said, there was a lot of glass fragments when this window broke, and you can see a bunch of glass in here, so I gotta vacuum this up. We also gotta pull out the seat belts on both sides, and then eventually I wanna pull out the dashboard too, because this airbag, we gotta get this reupholstered. This we gotta replace as well. I got a lot of work to do. We haven't even touched that. Now, obviously, I am not a professional, and so I'm trying to be overly cautious and careful, and I'm trying to get out that front windshield so I can pull out the dashboard easier. But to do that, I want to pull out this red trim piece that covers the A-pillar. Reason being, when I'm sawing out the glass on the front windshield, I don't want to damage this, have to reupholster it, that would be expensive. But to pull that piece, I got to pull the headliner. To pull the headliner, all the red leather in the back, it's all gotta go.
This is me from the future, and what I just said is 100% wrong. You do not have to remove the headliner to remove the A-pillar trim. It's got 1 bolt, you can easily access it. It's got 5 clips, you pop it off, you're good to go. I wish I had known this, you now know this, but that's part of the process. We're just learning as we go.
The passenger side took me a day and a half to remove, and that took me 5 minutes. That's what happens when you do something the second time. Now, during the course of this build, I'm gonna be posting on my Vero almost every single day. Up-to-date photos, up-to-date videos. So if you wanna follow along on the journey on the 812 rebuild, check out the link in the description below. You can actually download Vero for free.
And the car community on Vero is blowing up. Give me a follow. My username is TheStradman. We're almost at 90,000 followers, but I'm not the only one posting on Vero. I wanna highlight a couple other car content creators on Vero that are absolutely crushing it. Go give them a follow. I also love on Vero, there's no ads, there's no algorithm, the layout is refreshing, the image quality is incredible. You guys are gonna love it.
When I'm done with this car, it's gonna be one of the coolest Ferraris in the world. We got wide body kits, we got paint options, we got interior options. As soon as this video drops on my Vero, I'm gonna be posting photos of all of them. I got 3 paint options, I got 3 wide body kit options, and I have 3 interior options. I want you guys to go on Vero, I want you guys to vote, I wanna get your guys' feedback. The Vero car community is blowing up. You guys are truly gonna love it. Check out the link in the description below and join me on Vero.
It is a beautiful day today. We're gonna head off to Harbor Freight. I gotta go pick up a bunch of tools. My home garage, as it stands now, it's not quite fully functioning, but next week I have a BendPak 2-post lift arriving. We're gonna get that installed. That will allow us to lift the 812 up off the ground. Absolute game changer.
We gotta go get a windshield removal tool. What that is, how you use it, I have no idea, but we're gonna sort that out. Now what we want is on aisle 6 here at Harbor Freight, and for some reason I feel like we're gonna be coming here a lot. $87.34 later, you always end up getting more at Harbor Freight than you're expecting because they got everything.
Now, pulling out this interior is actually a ton of fun. It's like one giant big jigsaw puzzle. Each trim piece overlaps another piece, and you gotta figure out the order of operations, which trim piece overlaps them all that you can actually remove first. There's a lot of bolts, a lot of clips, and the clips, surprisingly, have come out flawlessly. Now, our main goal is to get to these seat belts, and yes, don't worry, I did disconnect the battery, so we're all good.
I'm trying to crank as fast as I can, but with all these interior trim pieces, you wanna be as cautious as possible. If I snap a clip, if I break something, it's gonna cost an absolute fortune. So we're moving quickly, but we're trying to do it in a skilled manner. Now, seatbelt is generally considered a single-use item after an accident. You wanna replace it, you wanna have it rebuilt. So we gotta ship this off. We gotta get the driver one out as well. The dashboard, we gotta get that out, get that reupholstered. And the sooner we can ship it off, the sooner we get it back. Well, now that the red trim has been removed off the A-pillars, we gotta drop the headliner, we gotta remove the rear view mirror, and that'll give us full access to remove that front windshield. Now, how you do this, you just kind of sort of feel for it, and you pray. You pray a lot. There's a lot of praying, because I don't want to break any clips. So far, I haven't broken anything. We're batting 1,000. I have this side of the headliner completely removed, this side, but now I have this midsection, and this piece is very scary because there's clearly no bolts, it's just clips. So you just kind of pry on it a little bit from every single side and hope it clips down and you don't break it. Yes, let's go, let's go. I have these tools here to cut out the windshield. I have this wire saw and I have this sharp blade. So the windshield is bonded to the car with urethane. We just gotta cut all 4 corners. We can heat it up, that'll help a little bit too. And then the windshield will be disconnected from the body using a suction cup, lift it off and call it a day.
If only it was that easy. This is not easy. This is a complete disaster. I was able to get one of the edges, but I don't know what to do. I decided to call the boys at Expert Auto Glass. Graham arrived the next morning, brought his fancy Sawzall, and within 3 minutes, the windshield was gone.
Now, undoubtedly, that is the best money I have ever spent. $106 later, including tax, the windshield is gone. I don't have to worry about recycling it. It's out of sight, out of mind. Now, the replacement windshield, unfortunately, is $3,700. Now, I'm not gonna quite order that windshield yet, maybe in a couple weeks. That is so far down the line. But now that the windshield is gone, getting this dashboard out should be so much easier. Now, my BendPak 2-post lift is going to arrive next week. We're gonna have it installed in that garage. And for the interim period, I still wanna keep the car mobile so I can pull it in and out of the garage with ease. So we're gonna walk away from the interior and we're gonna focus here on the front end. Now, underneath the hood is this felt under tray, and it is connected by legit a gazillion clips. There are so many of them, and we gotta undo every single one of them. Reason being, the windshield washer sprayer, you can see it kind of right here. The hose actually runs through the hood and then down the hinge. I'm assuming once we drop this tray, we can disconnect that line, unbolt the hood, and then pop right off, theoretically, right? How hard could it be? I'm focusing on just the clips on this side. My goal is to peel this felt back just enough to kind of access that hose, just so I don't have to remove all the other clips, save myself a bit of time. Come on. Perfect. I can peel this felt back just enough, and right at this connection here, I should be able to disconnect this, and then I can run the hose out through and off the hood. Yes. Snake it through, and easy enough, this hose has been disconnected. We now gotta undo this strut. You got the bolt here, and the bolts on the other side. The method or the technique that I'm about to show you guys is called the 2 trash can and the single bucket method. It is unskilled, it's uneducated, and I would not recommend adopting it, but it's all I can do because it's just me. On most cars, this is not necessary, but the hood on the 812 is absolutely massive. It's the only way to get it off. When Graham was here, I should have had him help with the hood, but I completely spaced it. Also, the suction cups I bought, they didn't work, so it's literally the shimmy shake. As I always say, smooth as butter, baby. I realize there's gonna be a lot of social media warriors that are gonna criticize that technique, but you cannot argue one hood has been removed from an 812 Superfast. Unfortunately here in Utah, it just started to snow, so we're gonna pull the 812 in. But like I said, I wanna keep this car mobile so I can pull it in and out of the garage, no issues, pop into auto, pop it into reverse. It's legit snowing inside the car right now. Come on, Utah. It's surely not the most glamorous technique, but you can't argue, it's working.
Now next step, I want to remove the front bumper. There's 4 bolts up top, super easy to get to. We got to jack up both sides of the car, get the bolts underneath the splitter, and now the worst part of the entire project by far, wheel liners.
One of the most annoying things known to man to try to remove is the dreaded fender liner. It's dirty, it's dusty, but great success. What do you think, Coop? Not bad, bud.
And we just have a few wiring harnesses for parking sensors, etc., and we're done.
One front bumper fully removed. It's actually a really nice bumper. This intersection is all carbon fiber. It's in perfect condition. The grille is in great shape. The horse is in great shape. This emblem is in good shape. This reflector is good as well. The only real issue is on this side right here. So the whole blue section will have to be replaced, but we should be able to salvage all of this. The 812 is pretty much a full skeleton now. She's really starting to take shape. We're gonna remove this headlight, gonna remove that headlight, and I'm also gonna remove this fender. The driver's side and the passenger side are not obviously a mirror image of each other, but structurally with the substructure, it should be very similar. So I'm just a visual learner. I just wanna pop it off. It's not gonna take much effort. We're gonna pop this off, pop off the headlights, and that'll give us a good idea of what that side needs to look like after we fix it. It's also really funny to see the damaged wheel next to the factory wheel. Now you can tell the difference in color. Like, it's not even close. I've been working hard to get this driver fender off, and I've been able to remove every single bolt except for one bolt. And that bolt is so far deep down in here, and the only way to access it is through this side of the door. Well, the only way to get through here, you gotta remove the entire driver door. I'm making this number up, but let's say the fender has 18 bolts. 17 of them you can easily remove. The final one, the entire driver door's gotta come off. I'm gonna pull that driver door, but I figure I'll do the passenger one first because I've already done half the work. I pulled the inner door card a little bit early on in the video. I just dropped the speaker out from right there. You can see the wiring harness was connected to this. I fed it through that hole, out this hole, and it is fully disconnected. Easy, let's go, baby. No big deal, we're crushing it. We got one more door, one more fender, and then pretty much everything's been taken off. That's broken glass. Do something the first time, it'll take you a day and a half. Do it a second time, 15 minutes. This door's a lot heavier with the glass. And the whole reason this door was taken off is so we could access this bolt right here. And I don't know if you guys can see that at all. Okay, there it is, yeah. No. Are you serious? There's another bolt. And I put the wheel on. Well, unfortunately, I'm completely out of time for the day. There's another bolt, one more bolt on that driver's side fender. I can't reach it without removing a lot more stuff, so we're gonna save that for another day. I have something unfortunate that I gotta show you guys that is not a huge surprise, but at the same time, I am very disappointed. We're gonna pop that wheel off. Well, unfortunately, my biggest fear has been realized on the 812, and it makes sense because when this car hit that Kia lifted up off the ground. This was not just a minor accident. This was some serious violent damage, and unfortunately, there's a lot of frame damage on the Ferrari, a lot more than I was expecting. I knew, of course, from the onset, the substructure was cracked there. This part of the substructure was completely gone. And of course, there's no substructure here protecting this oil tank. But what I didn't realize is as you look deeper in, you can see this nice little bin right here, which doesn't look that bad. But then you continue on, there is a hole the size of a baseball. That is legit a hole the size of a baseball, and it gets worse because then you look deeper down at the same piece of the subframe. It's all twisted up with another hole, and then this lower section right here is also properly dented. This was definitely my biggest fear when buying this car sight unseen, and honestly, it is completely my fault, and I gotta deal with the consequences. In the future, I will not be buying a crashed supercar sight unseen. And I also noticed the carbon ceramic rotor here has got a little bit of a chip. I don't know if it's fractured internally, but it's my understanding with that minimal amount of damage, I still gotta replace it, which means I also have to replace the driver's side. Now, 2 carbon ceramic rotors on a Ferrari, I'm guessing, I haven't pulled a price on it, that's got to be like $10,000. So unfortunately, the budget for this car has been completely destroyed. I mean, completely annihilated. I believe my next step on the A12 Superfast is to get some expert opinions here to check out the car, because as far as the frame damage, that is so far out of the realm of my expertise, and that's also something that I can't really learn how to do on this kind of car. It is a rear-wheel drive, 800 horsepower, front-engine car. This car with a bent frame, like, it's already dangerous enough on a clean title, but a salvage title on a bent frame, like, you're gonna die immediately. We're gonna have to get a professional help on this. I don't know if I gotta pull the motor. If you're an expert in aluminum frames, I'd definitely love to get some feedback. What do you think is the best course of action? I mean, I'm nearly certain I gotta replace these for sure, absolutely. Definitely gotta replace, and I guess that's really where to begin. But, yeah. There's really nothing else we can do. We are in it for the long haul. On that bombshell, I guess today's video is over.